Okay, so we had this topic in the last class,
Yeah.
and you said that you are having problem. I guess I've given you from 39.1 to 39.4. One was done in the class, and the
Yeah.
2, 3, and 4 were homework. So what issue did you face in these?
39.3 I solved, but I didn't know how to go about 39.2 and 39.4. I tried
39.4 only you are having problem in that.
even 2. I did not understand it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll do that with you. Let's see what this question is. You have opened the book for you.
Yeah, I have the book.
So I'll change the screen and I will keep the book for me on the
Yeah.
screen.
Okay.
So, how- okay. So the question is saying, if you remember, the question is saying, you have the question in front of you. The question is saying, Thomas Chan gives you the following information as at 31st March 2021. Inventory opening is given and purchase is given. His markup is 50% on cost of goods sold. His average inventory during the year ended was 19,000. Draw up an income statement for the year ended. Average inventory turnover. Okay, inventory turnover. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Average inventory comes in the below. Okay, do you remember
Okay.
this? Cost of goods sold comes at the top, and average inventory comes at the bottom.
Yeah.
And what is the formula for average inventory?
So you have to take the percentage in this, do we?
Opening inventory plus closing inventory. This is the formula.
Yeah, that is the formula.
Okay. I did not give you this formula in the last class, but this was by default assumed divided by 2. So if
Yeah.
your average inventory is, let's suppose if you use this formula, average inventory is equal to, if your average inventory is given in the question, that is 19,000 is equal to opening inventory, which is given, sorry, we should not write it down, which is given in the question. If you observe, opening inventory is
16,000.
16,000. So 16,000, sorry, 16,000 plus closing inventory divided by 2.
Yeah.
Okay. So your 2 will be multiplied over here. 19,000 is equal to 16,000 plus closing inventory. Let's assume closing inventory as X. Okay. So that it will be simpler. It will be easier to solve this. 19,000 into 2. It will give you 38,000, I guess.
Yeah, that will.
Okay. 38,000 is equal to 16,000 plus X, and X is equal to 38,000 minus 16,000. What will be the answer? It will be 22,000.
Yep.
Okay, so closing inventory, which is assumed as X, is 22,000. Did you get this?
Got it.
Okay, this is very much simple. Now he's asking you to make the income statement. And what information is given? The information which is given in the question is markup. Markup is on cost. Markup is
50.
always applied on the cost, which is 50%.
Yeah.
Okay, so 50% is the markup. So we go for the income statement. Let's suppose like this. Sales, let me write the name of the business, which is Thomas Chan. Thomas Chan income statement for the year ended, for the year ended, which is 31st March
Um,
2021. 31st March 2021. And in the brackets, I'll be writing extract because this is an extract. This is not full-fledged income statement. Okay.
Okay.
So sales is not given in the question. Leave it unknown. Less cost of sales. Cost of sales, we have opening inventory, we have closing inventory. Do we have closing inventory?
Yeah, now we got the closing inventory.
Yes, opening inventory is 16,000. Add purchases. Do we have purchases in the question?
Yeah, we do.
What is the value for that?
90,000.
90,000. Then we have closing inventory. Less closing inventory, which is 22,000.
Yeah.
So what is the answer for this?
1 second, let me calculate. Do we do the markup over here or anything?
So far, this is simple. So far, go like this, that you have to plus minus. Tell me the figure of this cost of sales first.
84,000.
84,000. Okay. Now 84,000 has been calculated by us, which is the cost of sales. So this should be in the brackets because the formula tells us this is in the brackets. Gross profit, we don't know gross profit. 50% is the markup. Do we know cost of sales now?
Yeah, we do.
We do know that. That is 84,000 multiplied by 50%. 42,000 is the gross profit.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we have 126,000 as the cost by reverse working.
By adding it.
42 plus 84, 126,000. Okay. 126,000 minus 84, we got 42,000. That is gross profit.
Yeah.
Now, have you solved the question?
Now they even assume the net profit. What? See, they further said net
Okay,
profit.
they are further saying 12% of his sales. So if they are saying further, so we'll remove this extract because he's talking about the whole income statement. So we'll not write extract. This is the whole income statement in all. Okay. So now he's saying 12% of its sales of sales. Okay. So less expenses, which we don't know at all. This is missing. Net profit is 12% of sales. And what is sales? 126,000 into 12%. What is the value for this?
15,120. 15,120.
15,120. 15,120. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the difference in between?
Let me see. I minus it, right?
Yes, we'll minus it.
So it's gonna be 26,880.
26,880. Okay.
Yeah.
This is expenses figure. This is gross profit. This is sales. The first thing, the biggest thing was to calculate this closing inventory, and after the closing inventory, everything was simple to solve. Okay.
Yeah.
So now if we read the question, that is 39.4. Let's see whether we can solve it or not.
You applied markup on the cost of goods.
Yes, markup is always applied on the cost of goods sold.
Okay.
Okay. Can you see the question 39.4 and see whether you can do this or not?
I was getting confused because they give two categories and then they give a gross profit margin as well that we apply on sales, right?
Two category means two companies, two different companies.
I can try it, but I don't think so I'll be able to solve it.
Sorry, could you repeat?
Yeah, I said I could try it, but I don't think so I'll be able to solve it.
Don't think like this. Try. You can do this. I'm sure.
How would I do cost of goods sold? Because we don't have. Oh wait, with the annual rate of inventory. No, but then, no, we can't
Please
do that.
remember one thing. Always remember one thing. Have you written down the formula for the ratios? Do you have that formulas in front of you?
Yeah, I have it.
So keep that in front of you, and now see what. How can you calculate cost of goods sold? Is there anything you can do that? Any formula which involves cost of goods sold, see that first.
Mm, so one was,
Which one?
yeah, so I was saying one is the inventory one, the inventory turnover.
Yeah. So do we have the data for inventory turnover?
We just know the annual rate. We don't know anything else.
Another thing, gross profit margin. Can we convert margin into markup?
Yeah, we can.
So can we get cost of goods sold?
Mm, yeah, I think we can do that.
Okay, so this is the way we do this.
Okay. Mm, so first we use the margin to markup.
Yes, we convert it.
Mm-hmm.
No. Sorry for that. I'm repeating that. You have the gross profit margin. You have the sales. What can you calculate with the help of this?
Mm, the the percentage of the gross profit exactly.
Yes. So the difference between gross profit and sales. What is the difference? What do we call that?
The cost of goods sold.
Yes. So have we calculated A?
Oh no, I was doing it.
No, I'm asking that with verbally. Have you
Yeah,
calculated A?
actually, yeah, then
You
yeah.
got the solution. Have you calculated B verbally? Did you get the solution?
So B, we would get the answer, right?
Yes.
For
So
gross
you got
profit
A, you got B, like the way you said that I will multiply this and this. You will get the total expenses, you will get the net profit, you will get the average inventory at cost. Everything will be calculated by step by step. You can see that total expenses as a percentage of sales is given, and sales is given itself. So you got the
Yeah,
total expenses. After
yeah.
gross profit, if you deduct expenses, you will get your net profit. A, B, C, D, the four are done. Last is average inventory. How do we get that average inventory? You have cost of goods sold. Okay, do you agree
Yeah,
with that? With the cost
right.
of goods sold, you have average inventory answer.
Use the rate.
So
Yeah.
can you get the average inventory itself? You have inventory turnover, you have cost of goods sold. Can you get the average inventory?
Yes.
Okay, so you will get the average inventory, that is A, B, C, D. All options are solved. So you can try it now, and now you can solve it.
Yeah, I think I can do that. I finished. Can I share screen?
Sorry, could you repeat?
I said I finished. Can I share screen? Can you allow me to share screen?
Okay, you can wait a second.
Yeah.
Yes, now you can do.
Can you see?
Yes, I can see that.
This was 39.3.
Cost of goods sold. Uh, where is average inventory?
Yeah, 35,000.
You have calculated it. B part is saying that you have to calculate your gross profit. You have calculated the gross profit by multiplying it with the sales. Sales is 15,000.
So what I did was know which question are you reading? 39.3, right?
This is 39.3.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, then it's fine. I thought it's 39.4, so I was confused. Okay, so
No.
part is gross profit. Gross profit, your markup. So you have converted the markup into your markup, and you have cost of goods sold.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have directly multiplied it, and you got the answer of your gross profit. Okay, turnover means the sales. Sales. How did you get the gross profit plus cost of goods sold? Yes, you have done that. Good. And D, the expenses. Expense 60%. You have multiplied 60% by profit. Gross profit. You will get the figure of 58,800. Okay. Gross profit minus expenses, you will get the profit, and you've done that. Good. 39.3 is perfect. Move on to the next. You can move on to the next question. Hello.
Can you hear me? I got disconnected.
Okay, now I can hear you. Earlier I was not able to hear you. So you can again share the screen. I said that you can change the question. Yes, this is the question. Okay. So first you got your cost of goods sold. 15,000 into 25%, you got 3750. 15 minus, okay, your cost of goods sold is there. B is your gross profit. You calculated gross profit 3750. Okay, and then you have expenses. Expenses, how did you calculate that? Percentage
5%.
18% of 15,000.
Yeah.
Where is 18% of 16,000? You directly multiply it. Always remember that you write it down over here, that which amount is multiplied by which amount. Okay, don't write
Okay.
direct answers, because directly you will have your working on your calculator. Examiner won't be able to see that. Always write it down in front. Okay,
Yeah, I'll do that.
your D is net profit. After net profit, after expenses, you will get your net profit. Okay. Okay, average inventory at cost means your cost of goods sold is there, and your annual inventory turnover is there. You will multiply that, and you will get it. Good.
Okay, I'll stop share screening.
Yes, you can stop that. Good. Have you understood that how to solve these type of questions?
Yeah, I got it.
These are somehow complex, but they are not complicated so much what we understand.
Yeah.
So let me share some of the other ratios which are important.
Okay.
One ratio which is important is ROS. Have you heard about ROS?
No.
That is return on capital employed.
Okay.
Let me write it down. Return on capital employed. What do you understand by this return on capital employed?
Uh, Something rated as capital.
Yes. So return on capital employed means what return did you get on your capital, whatever you invested. Okay.
Oh, okay. Like interest.
No, no, not interest. We earn the profit. You know that.
Yeah.
So it is earnings before interest and tax and tax divided by your capital employed. Okay.
Yeah.
So your return, that means your profit, and what profit did you earn on whatever you invested is called return on capital employed. The higher the return on capital employed, the better it will be for the company. Okay.
Okay.
So this capital employed is calculated by total assets minus current liabilities. Okay.
Yeah.
You can invest your capital, you can employ your capital in two ways. Either you have taken a loan from outside or you have invested yourself.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so these both ways are called capital employed. So the calculation,
Yeah.
the way this calculation is done like this will give you the figure for capital employed, and this earnings before interest, it will be calculated by income statement. The income
Yeah.
statement of your company's account will tell you what is your interest before earnings before interest and tax. Okay.
Yeah.
Then another is return on net assets.
Okay.
Return on net assets.
Yeah.
So what is that return on net assets?
So the amount you get with from your assets or something. Are you speaking?
No, 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 I'm not speaking.
Okay.
So this return on net assets would be
The return you get on your assets.
okay, give me 1 minute.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll continue.
Yeah.
And there are some of the more ratios which are not there in your Frankfurt. I'll be telling you that, and we'll be writing it down together. Let me
Yeah.
see the list of ratios, because every ratio should be remembered by you, because there are some ratios which come rarely in your paper, but obviously they have the equal importance. So we need to learn every ratio. So I need to see the list of that what ratios are there.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, we have this. In the profitability ratios, we have 4 ratios in the profitability ratios. Sorry, 10 ratios. There are categories of profitability. In the profitability ratios, we have these ratios. Gross profit ratio or gross profit margin. Gross profit ratio or gross profit margin is calculated in this net sales into 100. That is termed as gross profit margin too sometimes. Okay.
What is S dot P?
Sorry,
S dot P. What is that?
this is G dot P. It is gross
Okay,
profit.
gross profit. Okay, okay.
Net profit after tax divided by net profit after tax divided by
Mm,
sorry, net profit before interest. Net profit before interest, and there are two types of formulas like this. It can be before interest and it can be after interest.
okay.
So your examiner will not ask you these type of situations, but if he is asking like this, so he'll be clearing you in your answers. Then we have expenses to sales ratio. To sales ratio, that means total expenses which does not include any interest at all. Okay,
Yeah.
divided by net sales into 100. And why we are saying net sales? It means the sales after deducting your sales return.
Okay.
Then we have return on capital employed, which is net profit before interest divided by capital employed into 100. Non-current liabilities plus shareholders funds. Total shareholders fund. What is this total shareholders fund? It means the capital section, equity section total,
Okay.
which is capital at start plus net profit less drawings. You will get this total from here. You will add the non-current liabilities over there. Sir, if there is no non-current liabilities, so it means there is only one portion.
Okay.
Okay, so this is return on capital employed. The higher the return, the better it is for the company.
Okay.
So then we have return on total assets, which is equal to net profit before interest divided by total assets into 100. And total assets means both non-current and current.
Okay.
Return on total shareholders funds net profit after interest and tax divided by total shareholders funds. Total shareholders funds, which means the equity section of your balance sheet,
Okay.
into 100. Then we have return ordinary shareholders funds. Return on ordinary shareholders funds, that is equity. Some of these ratios will be workable in your limited liability companies. Okay, we'll learn companies, so we'll implement many of these ratios over there.
Okay.
After interest, after tax, and preference dividend. This is NP, means net profit.
Yeah.
Because preference dividend is also considered as a loan. Okay,
Okay.
you know this because we have promised our preference dividends shareholders that we will at least give this amount of your profit if there is a profit with the company.
Yeah.
Ordinary shareholders funds into 100. Then we have utilization ratios. First you copy these, then we'll start with that.
Yeah, I copied. You can move on.
Okay. Okay, so moving forward,
Yeah.
utilization ratios. This is the broad category. First we learned the profitability ratios. Now we are learning utilization ratios, that how efficiently you are utilizing your resources. The
Okay.
first one is sales to capital employed ratio. Which is equal to net sales divided by capital employed. And you know how to calculate capital employed.
Yeah.
Sales to total asset. Sales to total asset is the another formula for this, for utilization ratios, that is net sales divided by total assets. Sales to fixed asset ratio or non-current ratio. Sales to non-current asset ratio.
Okay.
Net sales divided by non-current assets. Let's change this non-current. Sales to current asset ratio. Current assets ratio is equal to net sales divided by current assets. In the end, I'll be telling you that what this refers, what this represents.
Yeah.
Sales to working capital ratio. Net sales divided by working capital. This is a ratio, which means it need to be expressed in 1:1. The upper value will come first, that is 1, and the lower value will come second, that is 1:1. Okay.
Yeah.
So what we have to see in this ratio, will observe this thing, that $1 of net sale is generating how much of capital employed. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Suppose $1 of your sale is generating $2 of your capital employed.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so this is the meaning of the ratio. $1 of your net sale is how much utilizing your net total assets. Maybe utilizing $1 of your total assets,
Uh-huh.
maybe $2 of your total assets. So this will be $1 of net sales utilizing how much dollars of your non-current assets, utilizing it by 1 or by 0.5. This shows the efficiency.
Okay.
Maybe all the assets are being utilized and you are getting $1 of sales, and maybe all the assets are not utilized, but still you are getting $1 of sale. Okay,
Yeah.
so the higher the ratio of this, the better it will be. The last category is financial ratios, which is the last. These are the maximum list of your ratios which you can get in your examination.
Okay.
First one is current ratio. After this, you can solve your past papers, because after this, these formulas, your topic will be completed. Divided by current liabilities. Then we have quick ratio. I know it would be lengthy today because we are not habitual of having so much data in the class.
Mhm.
Okay,
Which
and I'm also writing with you.
Yeah.
Current assets minus inventory. Which inventory?
Opening? No, closing.
Inventory. Always remember, whenever we're talking about balance sheet, current asset, so it is always closing inventory.
Yeah.
Rate of inventory turnover. Cost of sales divided by average inventory. You know how to calculate average inventory, so I won't be writing the formula for that.
Yeah.
Rate of debtors turnover. Rate of debtors turnover, or we can say the rate of account receivable turnover. Credit sales divided by average debtors. Debtors mean the customer, the account receivable, okay?
Yeah.
And average debtors means opening debtors plus closing debtors divided by 2.
Yeah.
Rate of creditors turnover, which means the accounts payable. Now
Yeah.
this time we have credit purchases at the top divided by average creditors. Why do we have credit purchase and credit sales in these formulas? The reason is that rate of credit turnover, rate of debtors turnover tell me the number of days or number of times the debtors are paying within 1 year.
Okay.
So that's why we are taking the credit only, because cash would have been paid at that time, but
Yeah.
credit is remaining. So we need to assess it for the credit.
Okay.
Average creditors is equal to opening creditors plus closing creditors. divided by 2.
Yep.
Last formula is number of days in stock. This is last.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, this is second last. I know it's very much hectic to write a lot of these type of formulas in one day. Average stock divided by cost of sales.
Stock is inventory, right?
Yes, inventory. So we can rephrase this because the new term is inventory. You know how to calculate average inventory, so I won't be telling you that formula over here.
Yeah.
If we want to convert this in days, if you want to convert this in days, we can multiply by it by 365. That how many days the customers are taking. If you want to convert it in days, so what do we do? We multiply it by 365.
Yeah.
If you want to convert it into months, we multiply it by
12.
12. Very good. So we now will get the cash operating cycle in the end. This might not be asked by you in your examination, but still this is additional piece of information. Inventory days plus debtor days minus creditors days. This cash operating cycle will tell you that how much time it takes for your cash to be given back. Let's suppose you have let's suppose you have invested your cash into inventory, you have invested your cash in terms of account receivable, still they need to pay. You have given to creditors. So how much cash operating cycle? Maybe after the answer is 35 days. So maybe after every 35 days you have cash. Okay. So cash operating cycle tells you that after how much time your cash will be coming back to you again. Or what is the shortest time period in between that you need cash? Let's suppose in 35 days my cash will be coming back. So 35 days I have to maintain some external source for my cash.
Okay.
Okay, so now we'll be observing some of the password questions.
Okay.
Let me go to the website. Yes, we have questions for ratios separately. Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll be showing you the questions. Joda Limited provided the following information at 31st January 2015, sorry. Calculate the current ratio. The calculation should be correct to 2 decimal places. Can you do that?
So the current assets over the current liabilities.
Sorry?
The formula is current assets over the current liabilities.
Yes, current assets above current liabilities. Always remember this thing, that your current ratio should be at least 1.5. Current ratio. Write it down in your journal, that if it is 1.5, it's good. It's okay for the business.
Okay.
Okay.
So is it good if it's more than 1.5?
If it is more than this, so it's bad for the business, because there will be something additional the business is not doing good. Let's suppose the business has tied up its cash in inventory. Okay, so that's not a good idea. Maybe there is idle cash with the business. 3 lakh rupees are idle in the bank. in the cash bank account, in the cash in hand. So you need to invest that. It's bad for the business. If it is lower, it's again bad for the business.
Okay.
Okay. And for current ratio, it should be 1 in answer. If it is 1, it's okay, it's good. But if it is more than 1, again the same problem. Less than 1, same problem.
Here it's 18.5. 1:18.5.
Okay. The current quick ratio should be 1:1, and the current ratio should be 1.5:1.
So the current ratio is 1:1.8 here, or 1:1.9.
Sorry, I'm not getting you. Can you repeat the question?
So like I calculated it,
Mm-hmm.
and the answer is coming as 1.8. So
Current ratio.
Yeah.
1.8 is your answer.
Yeah.
So you can write it down that you can see this, that inventory is tied up. A lot of cash is tied up in terms of inventory, and there is a lot of cash tied up in terms of total trade receivables. Okay, we need to take out cash from there and invest it somewhere in the bank so that we can earn interest. Okay,
Okay.
and you can write
Okay.
it down in your comment that it should be 1.5 ideally.
Okay, we can mention that too.
Yes. For quick ratio, suggest one reason you know why quick ratio is lower than it was in the previous finance. I ignore the previous year because you don't have the part in this. Okay. Question number 2, complete the following table. Current ratio, quick ratio, you know how to solve. Return on capital employed, can you solve this?
Okay, let me just check the formula.
I'm only asking, I won't be asking you to solve now.
Yeah, I can with the
Okay.
formula.
Only I'm asking. So you will calculate your capital employed, you will calculate your earnings before interest and tax, but that is not given over here. So you cannot solve ROS. Return on capital employed cannot be solved over here. Is the reason is that because you're not given proper perfect information. This is a piece of question in this. Okay.
Do we even have earnings?
You won't calculate return on capital employed in this. You will ignore this
All right.
because the data is not complete. You don't have the data for that
Right.
because this is a chunk of the whole question which is included in this topical past paper.
Right.
Okay, so comment on the change in current ratio. You can do that. Suggest one reason for the change in quick ratio. Suggest 2 ways to improve the return on capital employed. There are denominator and there is numerator. You can say that the company can increase the profit. Okay,
Uh-huh.
and company can reduce the capital employed. It's up to you. Whatever ways you can do, give in the answer.
Okay.
Explain why the partners calculated the quick asset test ratio as well as the current ratio. Quick asset test ratio will tell you a better liquidity position because that excludes inventory. Inventory takes a lot of time to be converted into cash because first inventory will be converted into finished product, then
Yeah.
finished products will be held for sale. Okay, when they are
Uh-huh.
being sold in the market, then they will be converted into accounts receivable. Then those accounts receivable will take some time to give cash to us. So it's a long cycle in terms of inventory. So so quick ratio is a better measure of liquidity rather than asset test ratio.
Okay.
2 reasons for the change in the current ratio. You can tell that you can guess about the current ratio change. Calculate the current ratio after this transaction has been recorded in the accounting records. Okay, then now see, you have errors topic 2. This is an error you will adjust in your accounting records. Okay, error of omission.
Mm-hmm.
2 possible problem partner may encounter the working capital inadequate. 2 ways in which partners could increase the working capital. 2 reasons for changing the current ratio. This all is about commenting. You can better comment on this, and this is a long past paper questions. A lot of questions are there included in this paper. So I'll be sending you this paper in the chat so that you can solve these questions as a practice.
Okay.
Okay. So let me share this document with you. Have you received it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay. You open this document, you see this. you practice these type of questions.
Okay.
In the next class, we can see whether we can have manufacturing accounting or not. We'll try our level, but that we should complete the manufacturing accounting topic. Okay.
Yeah.
So that we can complete the manufacturing accounting. This is a simple format. You don't have to think about anything. You have to put the values in manufacturing accounting according to the format. And format you can remember in such a way that you practice more and more. Once you practice a lot of questions on that particular format, you will learn the format. And when you learn the format, you can solve a lot of questions of that. Okay. So in the next class, we will have manufacturing accounting. This topic of accounting ratios is complete almost.
Yeah.
You should try your level best to solve these questions and comment on the ratios, because commenting is very much important. If you cannot comment, so you will not get marks for that. Okay. So try your level best. If you are having error or trouble, if you are having problem or trouble in solving or commenting on your ratios, so you will tell me and I will help you in that.
Okay.
Okay, so we are done with our today's agenda. In the next class, we'll start with the manufacturing accounting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so shall we call it off?
Yeah.
Okay, so goodbye for now, and we'll meet in the next class with manufacturing accounting.
Okay. Thank you.